Good afternoon and welcome back to the One Celtic Fans View. There is breaking news this afternoon. Peter Martin, the PLZ soccer host, has put out on his Twitter, "I am led to believe that discussions are now taking place with Wilfred Nancy and the Celtic board to end his 2-week reign as Celtic manager." Wow, that is the breaking news this afternoon. I'll get that up on the screen so we can all see it. Let me just double check this, make sure everything is running fine first of all. Let's just get this up on the screen, make sure that one's silent. Is that Peter Martin? So he put that up on his Twitter around about 15 minutes ago. I'm led to believe that discussions are now taking place with Wilfred Nancy and the Celtic board to end his 2-week reign as Celtic manager. Tell me what you think about that in the comments section. It is not confirmed, obviously, by Celtic, but if there have been discussions started today, it tells you one thing: he will not be in the job come tomorrow. Celtic may delay anything until tomorrow when there will be someone else but Wilfred Nancy in the hot seat for the press conference. Now, where does that leave Celtic going into the Aberdeen game this weekend? Because Celtic will need to prepare the team. Will Sean Maloney and Sam and McManus pick up the reins from where they left off before? Will Fozzie get a call back to Celtic? Will Fozzie get a call back to Celtic? And ultimately, will Martin O'Neill be given the call from Celtic to get yourself back up the road? Nervous, right, Baz? Lowell away. Yep, United defeat Boo Nancy. What the fuck? Yeah, it's crazy times at Celtic. There is nothing. There is no other. Peter Martin is the only one to have came out with it so far. There isn't any journalist came out and talk about it. But Willie Haughey, you remember Willie Haughey? He was part of the rebels that won the day back in the 1990s, and he's been letting it slip that it's that everything's all down to Nancy. And if what Willie Haughey says is accurate, I tell you one thing: I think that the players may have lost the second half last night to get rid of the manager. Nancy's adamant that he wants to keep on playing the 3-4-3 system. I think if we had the right players at the club, it's a system that would work well for us. Despite not having the players to play the system, we all seen the game last night. It was terrible. We were fantastic the first half. Let's not lie. I mean, we played some great football the first half. Second half, we just don't have the physicality. If you're clever and you do your homework about the club, in the last 24 years, Celtic have won 24 trophies by playing 4-3-3. We have recruited players to fit the system when you play a 4-3-3. So when you go into the first game and you're going to go 3-5-2, Martin O'Neill changed it to a 4-4-2. There's egos going to hit, and if everything that has been said is true, Callum McGregor had a few choice words to say with the manager after he went to the 4-3-3. A 3-5-2 could have been possible, which would still allow Nancy to play his attacking football, but it didn't really work, did it? I'm just trying to see if there's any more updates on this. It is breaking news, so I'll just see if any of the normal journals will hear anything. Compensation has been agreed. Compensation, I'm hearing. Let me just jump on to WhatsApp. Yeah, it's Peter Martin's the only one that's really talking about it, but there were rumours going about before Peter Martin discussed it. If Nichols in the negotiations, that'll be it to the end of the season. I don't think so. Um, let's just see. Dermot Desmond's private jet flew from Dublin to London this morning. Let's hope it's to meet Martin O'Neill. Beg him to take the job to the end of the season. Whoa, big stuff. So, I believe that Dermot Desmond's private jet flew to London this morning. Could that be to bring Martin O'Neill back up the road in the private jet? This is crazy stuff. Absolute bonkers crazy. That this is happening right now. I mean, the Celtic board are basically admitting that their own failings, and if this news is, and it's looking like it is true, um, who will be 2 seconds talk sport. Exclusive: Martin O'Neill tipped for an immediate return 15 days after exit. Oh my goodness. Martin O'Neill has been tipped to come back to Celtic. Um, to, this is crazy. This is going to be the craziest 2 week period in Celtic's history. Get to up to date. Martin O'Neill has been discussed that Martin O'Neill is going to come back to Celtic. Has Dermot Desmond's private jet has been followed from Dublin to London this morning, and it looks like Martin O'Neill is coming back up the road to Celtic until the end of the season. This is absolutely bonkers stuff. Peter Martin first broke it. He works for Peter Martin. He's done the rounds on TV and stuff from Sky before, and he was also on Talk Sport. He's on PLZ Sport now. Is Peter Martin. PLZ Soccer. He put it public around about 32 minutes ago that I'm led to believe that discussions are now taking place with Wilfred Nancy and the Celtic board to end his 2 week reign, which would be unbelievable stuff from Celtic if, well, it's looking like it is happening. And then about an hour ago, Dermot Desmond's jet was spotted on Flight Tracker flew from Dublin to London. And Talk Sport are now talking about the fact that Martin O'Neill is due to return to Celtic. This is crazy stuff. This is absolutely bonkers. Absolute bonkers. Could you just imagine Martin O'Neill being in the press conference for Celtic tomorrow again? This is absolutely bonkers news. It's all over social media, Ian. We're getting it from Peter Martin, the reporter. Sorry, but that's disgraceful. It's true. It's just not fair on him. Some of the comments coming in. Is it not fair on him? He's completely failed as manager. Come on, 4 games. 4 games. Are you prepared to take bigger hits? I feel bad for Nancy, but he was chucked in a rough position. Just wasn't the right manager for Celtic standards. Yeah, it's difficult when you've got. If he was given pre-season, I mean, even like Chris Sutton said last night, if he was given pre-season and he was allowed to build Celtic into the team that he wanted, he's came at a time where, listen, it's his own fault. He's been stubborn. He has been stubborn. If this is the end, he's been far too stubborn. He should have came in. He should have spoke to Martin O'Neill. You know, giving Martin O'Neill 15 minutes for me is just disrespectful. I don't care who you are. If it's me and you're coming into a club and you don't ask the manager, you know that Martin O'Neill's came to stand in, and he was the interim manager. You know that Martin O'Neill stopped the run of bad results. So you sit down with him and say, Martin, you've got an hour. I don't want to keep you too long. You know, I know that you're desperate to get back down to London, but then you sit and you say, right, can we go somewhere and have a private conversation? You don't just have a 15-minute conversation with the manager. And when Martin O'Neill came out and told us that on Talk Sport, it's when Martin O'Neill come out and told us that on Talk Sport, straight away the alarm bells are going off in my head, thinking, you know, it's disrespectful. Okay, if you're a good manager, you get away with that nonsense. Do you know, if you believe that you can come in and turn this team around straight away, instantly, but you don't change the formation, you don't change the training. When you look at the guys that are sitting in the background for this manager, you're thinking, Jesus, they're not really going to excite the players, are they? Um, they're not going to really excite them at all. I mean, the three of them, they just look as if they look as if they're out of their depth. They just look as if they're like, "Man, we've bitten off something far too bigger. That's way above our pay grade. That's for certainty." Should it have been done straight after Hampden? Give them the benefit of the doubt, but after the way that the game imploded last night. But then there is the question when it comes down to the players. The Celtic board have just bought Nancy a Martin O'Neill latex mask to appease the fans. He has to go, but the board need to hold responsibility for another shit show, laughing stock again. Beyond raging. I don't think that yes, Stuart, it's going to happen by the looks of it. The Talk Sports talking about it, Peter Martin's talking about it, and when you look at the flight tracker and Dermot Desmond's flight to London this morning, it means he's went down and went, come on, Martin, I'll come and get you in my private jet, and then we'll head up to Glasgow for a press conference tomorrow. And I think that this will have been, don't get me wrong, I think that this will have been Dermot pulling ranks, because I believe that if the Celtic board got their way, the Celtic board would have kept him. But I think that Dermot Desmond's went, fuck this shit. And if that's the case, there has to be a case for someone at Celtic. Dermot has to axe the sword on this one. He has to axe the sword. You know, he let them have their little jolly and bringing this manager in, but Dermot has the power. Dermot has the power to say, look, you fucked up. And maybe that's why Peter Lawwell's resigned. Maybe that's why Peter Lawwell resigned, and that's maybe the truth. Maybe there's been a fallout in the background. You know, Dermot Desmond's no love lost with anybody. That was proven after the previous Celtic manager was given the bullet out the club or walked. But Dermot Desmond absolutely had a scathing attack on Brendan Rodgers, his so-called buddy. You know, it wouldn't surprise me if something else has happened in the background and Dermot's went, oh, well, right then I'll leave. You know, it's on me, Michael Nicholson. He needs to take responsibility. Will Chris Mackay manage to evade the cull that's about to come? Hopefully, there's a cull about to come at Celtic, and you have to then look at Tisdale. Tisdale's the man that said, "This is the man to change Celtic. This is the man to change us." And yes, if timing was different, if we had more time to get the players to gel, if we had a transfer window where he could have brought his own players in, but all Martin's going to come in and do is steady the ship. You know, it would be unbelievable if Martin O'Neill was able to turn this around. And I tell you one thing, if Martin O'Neill is wheeled out at the press conference this tomorrow afternoon, as is now being suggested, Talk Sport 45 minutes ago. Let's do this. This is unbelievable. Wait, I'm just getting a message coming through here. They need to act this week. They need to admit they got it wrong. Get someone in while the league is still there for the taking. He's under pressure because they can run any other defeats. Yeah, Rodgers is to blame. Yep, Tisdale said earlier they're backing him. Well, it's not going to happen now. Baz are making a Christmas video of the ground today. That's all that's happening. Stevie, that's not that's happening. That's the Christmas video has been done. It was mega toxic last night. This is what I'm getting from fans that were at the game last night. It was mega toxic last night. We were in the Jerry Kerr right next to the board, and they were getting it absolutely stinking. Yeah, I've seen the videos, mate. The good thing is, North Celtic, you always come out with some cracking comments. This is good going forward. It shows that others wanting the job, that this won't be tolerated. Success is vital and immediately at Celtic. And it's true. You know, and it says that anybody that wants to come in and take the job at Celtic, it now then gives you a calibre of manager. You know, it ups the game for me with the calibre of manager, but Tisdale has to go. If it's on him that Tisdale, that he put forward the name of Wilfred Nancy, yes, he might have got his club to the North American Champions League, but managing at Celtic is a completely different kettle of fish altogether. And maybe Celtic should have stipulated that, do you know what, we want to keep some of the Celtic men there. Fozzie, Sean Maloney, McManus can go back down to the B team. But he should have kept them in. But if he's been super confident in himself and if he's been super confident about what he could do with Celtic, sometimes that went through. Martin O'Neill's wanting to get on with his life. He's 73, doesn't need the stress. Well, I'll tell you one thing. If Martin O'Neill is, as suggested, will be doing the press conference tomorrow at Celtic for the game, it will be absolute madness. Absolute madness. I expect Celtic to put out a statement around about 5:30, 6:30 tonight, 5 p.m. tonight. Oh, Jesus. Let me just see this. Rumours are circulating that compensation package has been agreed with Nancy, and he has been sacked. He has been sacked. It's funny how. Wait, I just message. Come on, Mr. D, where are you? Pop your head out so I could see you. Answer your WhatsApp. Nancy needs to take Celtic to the cleaners. They won't take them to the cleaners. There'll be a compensation. These type of things are all worked into the contract. What are you going to do if O'Neill loses the next 3 games? I think we all know the state of the squad now. Martin O'Neill just won't come back. Don't see him coming back. He's already moved on, but I hope I'm wrong. Well, we'll wait and see. Nancy's a good coach. It's the players that are dire. I could agree with you with that one, mate. But I think when you change the system so much, something's happened at half time yesterday. For the players, we spoke about it this morning, for the players to completely down tools and not play the football that we were playing in the first half is unbelievable for me. Players can get managers sacked. I was embarrassed at the chanting last night. Yeah, he was getting sick, and it's completely toxic. Nobody's mate. And he was 137-year-old. What's the plan after him? It'll be James Forrest. He'll still be kicking around the club. Tisdale finally speaks, fully backs the manager before the game. He has to win, then loses the game, sack him. You couldn't write this shit. Yeah, it's unbelievable. But announced Larson, that's never going to happen. I've seen enough of this manager. That's it. Comments are coming in. The players would have won the cup final. No disrespect to St. Mirren, but the players would have turned up for Martin. I'm not too sure. I think Martin O'Neill will be here to the end of the season by the looks of it. No Martin O'Neill, please. If Nancy fired, appoint Maloney Fozzie to the end of the season. You need a figurehead. You need a figurehead to come into the club and embrace the fans. And if this, for me, this has got Dermot Desmond written all over it. It's definitely got Dermot Desmond written all over it. Nancy's lawyers are asking for 50 trillion compensation. Jesus. They're no Trump. That was a rant. I was creased. And just coming home, I doubt it. The job wasn't too big, the players were too small. Yes. And that's something that we need to address. Do you know, there are a number of players at the club who just aren't good enough. And it comes down to Tisdale as well. It's all fingers are pointing right back. I mean, Nancy could have been the perfect manager for Celtic. Brendan Rodgers, let's rewind the clock back to the summer and the so-called meeting with Brendan Rodgers and the hierarchy at Celtic. Now, Brendan Rodgers told us that there was no contract offered to Brendan, but the board said that they would offer him a contract if he got us to the Champions League. And Brendan Rodgers went, okay, we're here then. I'm not agreeing a contract, and you're not offering me a contract. We're miles apart. And then Brendan Rodgers For me, I think Brendan Rodgers should have been away thinking about it, probably in the summer. And I think that would have been a good time for Brendan Rodgers to ultimately leave Celtic. Super chat just came in. Let's do that. James, feel bad for Nancy, but he needs to go. These last 4 fixtures we lost were all must-win games, and the board just use that as the time span to bring in the new manager and the new system. This is on the board. It is on the board. I don't deny it. And I hope that Dermot Desmond, with him flying to London to personally pick up Martin O'Neill and then fly Martin O'Neill up to Glasgow, I think that heads need to fall on the sword. Do you know, the sword needs to just chop off heads at Celtic. Tisdale needs to go. The standard of player that we brought in at the club is not good enough. If the standard of the manager has been even worse under Tisdale, I think that Peter Lawwell leaving the club in the next couple of weeks is a good move. But Michael Nicholson, Brian Wilson, and Chris Mackay, they've all got to take partial blame. And look at the way that Nicholson grabbed and hugged Nancy. Thank God you're here. You know, embraced him. He's got to take some big responsibility for that. Does Dermot Desmond now ring the changes at Celtic that the Celtic fans collective are asking for? The atmosphere at the game last night was as toxic as I've ever seen it towards hierarchy at Celtic. Way back to the 1990s stuff. If, as expected, this does happen this afternoon, this evening, just see if we can get any other update. Celtic have just put out a picture of Lennoxtown. with nobody there. Oh, Celtic, Celtic, Celtic. What are you playing at? Celtic put any. And why would Celtic 37 minutes ago put out a picture of Lennox Town? Just a picture of Lennox Town. Why? That's a strange one. I'll let you see the picture that Celtic have just put out onto Twitter 37 minutes ago. Just a picture of Lennox Town, nothing else. Just a picture of the training facility. And I've also, Nancy's been called to the training facility. Let me see what people are saying online. Announced the sacking of these two amateurs. Yep. Wilfred's away, by the way. Announcement coming soon. Oh, Jesus. I mean, who's that that's on the pitch? There are two people on the pitch. Could it be Sean? Nah, that's just somebody taking fitness test, isn't it? That's Jota running. Celtic, you're just trolling us. I'll get this up on the screen so you can see the comments that have came through on the Celtic Twitter page after they put this picture out. 158. That one's a crack. What is he thinking? You take pictures of me, I'll take pictures of you. Jota out. Next announcement, Nancy sacking, please. Celtic never put out just a picture of the announced Martin O'Neill, Nancy away. Get them out. Sack the board, just taking the piss now. Looks empty. Where's Nancy? Announced sackings. Looks like the Celtic fans may have got their way and Wilfred Nancy is sacked with Martin O'Neill coming back in. Tell me your thoughts in the comments and we'll jump on to all the comments and we'll get as many people as we can, get your opinion. Get as many people's opinions as possible whilst we keep. Michelle, if you keep on. Oh, there he is. Oh, dear. Yes, that's him. He's gone. That's just someone that I thought may know some information. Scott Hodler. Celtic. I'm gonna ask him what time is this. See if he gets back to me. Right, Borat dancing. Keep an eye on Twitter just to see if there's any breaking news. Right, let's get some of the comments in. I think he planned to fail. Talks bollocks, get a payoff. Yeah. Lennox Town empty because they have no manager or the players have revolted against the manager. It may be. It may be. I think that they revolted against the manager last night. I think that the players went into the second half and just went, "Do you know what? Fuck this. Let's just lose this fucking second half and get rid of this guy." Players when they go onto the pitch. Do you know especially the way that we played the first half? We played absolutely fantastic. But if the players don't like the manager, there's every chance that players could just go fuck it and let's just get rid of him. He's the one that'll get sacked, not us. No, us. Do you think the tactics board will go in the cabinet the next to the big cup? I doubt it. Um, it's on his way. Baz, did you fly in at the weekend for talks? If only, mate. If only. Why are some managers so stubborn and blind? They walked into it obvious that we couldn't play that way. I think that we could play that way. Is Jim Leishman available? I think that Celtic could play that way if we had everyone fit. If we had Cameron Carter Vickers, do you know? Because ultimately you would want a back three. You would want three central defenders at the back, and then you would push Kieran Tierney further forward. The system could work at Celtic. I think it's the players that didn't suit the system. And Callum McGregor being at loggerheads with the manager, telling him, look, we've won all these trophies over these years, playing a certain way. You're changing it too much too quick. And if that's happened, if that has happened and the managers went, look, you're doing it my way. If you don't like it, get out. Maybe the players have went, well, do you know what? Fucking fuck you, mate. Who the fuck do you think you are coming in here? Trying to be the big I am. I'll also give you a bit of an update with the Celtic Fans Collective. The Celtic Fans Collective have had a kind of an ad hoc meeting this afternoon via email. The Celtic Fans Collective today asked the steering committee will hold an emergency meeting this afternoon and a meeting tonight in light of the developments at the club that are and the escalating attacks on our support with the home fixture taking place in just 3 days' time. We will welcome the views from signatories on what action to take this weekend. Should it be a stadium walkout? Should it be demonstrations? Should it be a demonstration on the Celtic way? They were basically trying to get ideas on where to go next. Pre and post game demonstration on the Celtic way, the most effective. I don't think that the support would walk out in numbers. Walkout has to be an escalation, but and then some of my members have asked for more clarification on recent attacks on supporters. Does it refer to the ban on the Green Brigade or the alleged assault on Celtic staff on Sunday? Can you please elaborate? Says one of the commenters to the Celtic Fans Collective. It's an interesting development that they're trying to ramp things up. Celtic have maybe jumped the gun and got there before them. Just keep an eye on this. We've got others coming out as well. If rumours are to be believed, Dermot flew into London earlier. The Celtic board are currently in negotiation to pay off Nancy. He's just copying Peter Martin. The phone's not working, Dublin. It's unbelievable to think that the Celtic finance officer, Chris Mackay, took his phone out of his pocket last night and started filming the Celtic fans. It's just it's a circus. We've turned into a complete circus. I mean, that picture is just unbelievable. What is he thinking? What exactly? What was he thinking? Yeah. I mean that picture is just bonkers. That is just bonkers. Right, let's get back into some of the comments and see what we're saying. Two league games you got. We are total shite under Nancy. We're the best of a bad bunch under Martin O'Neill. Bring back Martin O'Neill. Yeah. Can we bring in Messi and Ronaldo? Martin O'Neill 2-1. Kudson 4-1. Martin O'Neill will be back. Watch out what you wish for. Yeah. Board members should not have any other business interest outside the club. Mm, it depends on where they are as board members. If they're actually working for Celtic full time, or if you're a non-executive director. Martin O'Neill's too old. Well, the fans were shouting for him last night. I'm loving that. That's all, folks. Oh, Jesus. You've got to look at the funny side of it. We do need to look at the funny side. Because if we don't, under Celtic status, let me see. Oh, it's the same one. Right, I'm getting confirmation about the flight this morning from Ireland from Dermot Desmond's plane. It departed at 09:13 this morning and arrived in London at 4 minutes past 10. And that's confirmed by the guy who was watching it on Flight Tracker. Scottish Hodler, at Scottish Hodler, who was tracking the flight this morning. So a big shout out to Scottish Hodler on Twitter, who tracked that flight this morning and watched Dermot Desmond fly into London, and hopefully it is to pick up Martin O'Neill and bring him back up the road, because I think that's what a lot of us ultimately want. Is this? Ding ding. Draft. Ha 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 ha. Ay, ay, ay. Anyway, right, that is me done and dusted. Let's hope that we get some information out this afternoon from Celtic. We get confirmation that he has been sacked, and hopefully we'll be back on later this afternoon to see where we're at with Dermot Desmond and co. Have a fantastic day, Celtic fans, wherever you are, all around the world.